6197. Assuring excellence in every situation, opportunity, and challenge. That's 402-560-6197.
Tune in to 93.7 The Ticket immediately after every Nebraska men's basketball game for 1 hour of post-game recap. The Nebraska Basketball Postgame Show is sponsored by Union Bank and Trust, John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, Air, and Electrical, and the Lincoln Airport on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills Global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
Live from the heart of Lincoln, America, welcome to Ticket Weeknights on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome, everybody, in here. Husker Football Hour, Tom Shatel, here to kick off this Monday. Tom, can you hear me? How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Not too bad. I'm back for another week with you. I guess they were impressed with my our depth in our showing, as we talked about last week. So,
absolutely.
Yep. So I made it back in. So last week, a lot to cover. You know, we were talking about the national championship, Mike Eckler situation. I think we should start with that because now it's official, and we can kind of move on from that situation. I guess. I get initial thoughts. It was up in the air last time we talked, and then the week kind of went on, and then became official that he was moving on to go to USC. I guess what are your final thoughts about the Mike Eckler, the saga that finally came to an end mid last week?
Yeah, I don't know if we'll ever get the story on this. It'll probably just go away, but I'd like to know why. I'd like to know. It sounds like was this all on his own? Is it just him? Was it just time for him to leave and he's a nomad and he moves around a lot? Or, this was his home, right? And a chance to retire in Nebraska maybe or be here and make a difference. And he's only here 1 year. Was it because he wanted to coach defense? I don't know. Is he coaching defense at USC? I don't know if he is. Was there some issue between him and Rule? I don't know that's true either. Or is this just a guy who has got to move on? So I thought it's over. I think most people are done with it and move forward. So I guess we'll figure out in the spring what they're going to do about special teams. So whatever they do, it probably won't be as good as with Eckler, but who knows? Maybe it will.
Yeah, it's a very. Like you said, we'll never know the end of the story. It was evolving for weeks. There were reports out there that Mike Eckler was leaving, and then he officially leaves. The USC rumors were true. Nebraska. It sounded like Matt Rule is pretty confident in the guys that can step in on the special teams because he kind of laid the foundation, what the expectation was going forward. Because when he stepped in, the special teams was you never knew what was going to happen on any kick or any punt or any return. I guess how much do you think they trust the process of everybody just being there and kind of taking in what Mike Eckler kind of established? Well,
I don't know if I'm sure he trusts it. I'm not sure if I trust it or Husker fans trust it. Because before Eckler, special teams were not very good, and Rule had 2 years to get that, understand what that. And again, he's been a head coach long enough to know what special teams mean, and what Mike Eckler did was really good, but it wasn't like unbelievably special. It wasn't like this incredible thing we saw this year. Mm-hmm. It was better, and what they were doing is what you should do every year, and what you should have done from year one, from the beginning. So it's the way it should always be. So I don't know that. the fact that it wasn't like that before Eckler, and they had to bring in a guy he didn't even know, I don't know that it's going to be as good. I guess I'll just believe it when I see it, and if we see it, great. But I don't know. I mean, I don't feel like, he put Ed Foley there, and Ed Foley is a good football coach in his right, and he's a good ambassador for the program around the state. I mean, there's certainly an important role for him, but special teams was not getting it done, and for 2 years that was standard. So we'll see.
Yeah, shifting gears with the Husker football. I know we'll talk a little bit about Husker basketball in our second segment. The quarterback situation. Anthony Calandria is here, TJ Lateef, Danny Kaelin. How do you think that helps establish depth? Because Nebraska hasn't had quarterback depth in a while, or when they do, it kind of goes in the spring and then guys transfer, but there's no transfer portal in the spring now. How do you think Nebraska kind of evaluated the quarterbacks in the portal? Because these, you have a guy who, UNLV's got Virginia's had a handful of starts elsewhere. Then you have Danny Kaelin, who is from here, literally grew up in the Omaha Metro, was with the program for a bit, then went out his other way, got a chance to play at the power forward level. And then you have TJ Lateef, who's still around, who, got a handful of starts, took some ups and downs as a freshman. I guess just what are your initial thoughts on what they have right now in the quarterback room with those three guys? I mean, I'm not saying it's a quarterback battle, but you have three guys and you have depth that really hasn't been around for Nebraska in a while.
Yeah, no, I think it's going to be a great battle, and that's good. It helps everybody when those quarterbacks are going at it. It'll just be up to Dana Holgerson to decide on reps and what kind of style he wants. These guys are all different styles. I could see any of the three doing it, and I'm intrigued by Daniel Kaelin coming back in. I mean, he was certainly a guy who was recruited by a lot of people, and he didn't, he didn't want to sit behind Dylan. Of course, Dylan left. Maybe, the lesson there is hang in there because guys like Dylan are going to leave. But I think he probably grew going elsewhere, and he played some, but he didn't, obviously he didn't start. But he's a guy who is very capable of doing that, doing the things that Holgerson wants. The kid from Vegas is very intriguing. He's the new shiny toy. Husker fans are looking at him and seeing that he's the next guy. But man, TJ Lateef has a lot of skills, and he's a good quarterback. And yeah, he didn't have a couple of games there that were not great, but I look at the defenses they had, and the one game he was hurt. So, but yeah, Penn State and Iowa's defenses were as good as any around, and Utah's defense was good as well. The head coach, the defensive coordinator, became the head coach. So, I don't know that you can judge TJ Lateef off those games. I think there's a lot there, but he, does he benefit from maybe sitting this year? He sat 1 year, then had to play, got thrown in there. I think he'll be ready to go. And of course, the next guy is going to be in Lincoln, playing high school football.
Yep.
And he's playing in Omaha. We're talking about a Trey Taylor kid who looks like he's all in. He wants to recruit for Nebraska, and he looks like he's going to be the next quarterback. He wants to move the process up. But as one of my readers pointed out, he said, Lincoln, why is he playing high school football in Lincoln? I don't know. I can't answer that question.
That was my next.
I think on Miller South.
That was kind of my next question for you. Is kind of this Trey Taylor. It was kind of the talk of the state once that kind of news broke that he was transferring from Illinois to come play at Millard South, which Millard South is one of the powerhouses in high school football here. They've been for the last couple of years. They've had, last year they had 10 plus D1 commits on their team. Now you bring in a guy like Trey Taylor and a couple other guys. I guess, what are your initial thoughts when you saw that news kind of break? Was that something you kind of knew about, or what was kind of the initial thought process when you saw, Trey Taylor's going to be playing in Nebraska's backyard, literally?
Well, I was stunned for about 5 seconds, and then as I usually am right now, and something off the wall or upside down or out of left field comes about college football or college sports, like a G League guy playing for Alabama, I go, oh, okay, this is different. Okay, I guess it makes sense. I mean, nothing makes sense and everything makes sense. So the things that are happening you've never seen before just happen all the time now. So, if he, like I said, this is not happy days. We're not talking about Fozzie and Richie anymore. This is not, wear the leather jacket and go to the prom deal anymore. This is high school football is at some levels is not big business. It's almost like college. In fact, it's almost like pro. These guys, this is serious stuff, and so he's coming here to spend time with the Nebraska football program and get up to speed. We've heard of the guys who transfer, come into college in January, a semester early. Well, this tops that. This is August or summer.
Yeah.
And my question is he? When is he? And he's going to try to hang around with Matt Rule and the boys, and train and go through all this stuff and get up to speed and get ahead. But is he going to have time for high school football and high school classes too? I mean, it's a lot on his plate, but he's got a big appetite.
Yeah, I mean, it's unprecedented, I would say. I mean, you obviously have had guys who go D1 out of the state, or in-state guys. Guys have transferred in from outside the state, but like at this, the quarterback position's it's the moneymaker position. Everybody, you get the ball in your hands every possession. This is just, it came out of, I didn't hear anything about it beforehand. Then all of a sudden it's like, he's going to be playing at Millard South, and Millard South football. I mean, last year, their schedule, they ran through it, and even the championship, they handled business from the opening drive. I don't mind him transferring in from my point of view. I just think it's, a little odd that he's going to be living in Lincoln, going to school in, Millard, Omaha Metro. I don't know. There's no boundaries against it. There's no, it's not like it's a bad rule or anything. It's not like it's against the rules, but it's just like, what if it snows? Like, how's he going to get to school? Like, he's just going to, it's a solid drive. It's Lincoln Omaha's not a terrible drive, but morning traffic, that school traffic. I've been stuck in that before going to some state events up there. It's usually interesting. So, and then he's graduating early. So good on him. That's, get your education in high school and then going to join the program. I just think it's just interesting how it kind of all came together and,
Well, my question is, if the goal here is, he's not coming here to play for Millard South. He's coming here to get ready to play Nebraska football.
Mm-hmm.
And he's calling it like an early redshirt year.
Yeah.
Why not do that at the Lincoln Southwest? I mean, if the goal is to be around Lincoln, why not stay in Lincoln? I mean, why do you have to play for Millard South? Yes, they had 10 or 12 Division I guys. It's a hell of a program, and they develop and they they get transfers who come in, but you know what I mean? It's like, it's one of the top programs, but does that really matter to him? I mean, I think what he's trying to do here, I think he's trying to be a starter in 27.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
And so I look at that and go, okay, more power to him. Maybe he could do it. I've seen Tommy Frazier. I've seen guys start as freshmen. I've seen Dylan Raiola start as a freshman. But what does that do to the quarterback room? And I guess I can't worry about that because people come and go.
Exactly.
I mean, you've got three guys. We just talked about three guys who all want to start in 26. Well, what happens at 27? What happens to them? Well, here comes Trey. So it's a busy place. I love talking about these guys. They're all great kids, but I'd like the conversation with Nebraska football to be more about the offensive line than I feel like the emphasis in Nebraska for years has been quarterbacks and wide receivers. And lo and behold, here come two kids to just try to turn the clock up who was a quarterback and a receiver. So, I think the offensive line is going to be better next year. But, and I guess I'm changing the subject. Sorry.
It's all right.
But,
that's what this is for.
I mean, that's kind of what I do. I just kind of go and you have to hold on tight. I just don't know if you could put it together in 1 year or not. And I think, Chief Wade is, I want to call him Chief Wrangler so bad, but I can't. Chief Wade is a hell of a coach, offensive line guy, veteran. But offensive lines take a while it's timing, it's chemistry, it's knowing. You see all these great offensive lines. Indiana, all five of them are all pointing before the play starts. They all know. That just reminded me of the Nebraska pipelines. All those guys knew, and they all talk to each other. And it's like a symphony. They all work together. It's beautiful music, and so that takes usually longer than a year to get that done. But I'm happy to sit back and watch and see what happens.
Jeep Wrangler, that has to catch on at some point, right?
I'm not going to do that. I'm not promise. I'm not going to do it.
If it catches on, I think we're going to have to give you credit as the nickname.
Oh, I hope not.
So you were talking about Wade's, his impact he's going to have as offensive line. So Lonnie Tinsley commented a while ago about him, and one of the quotes he said, "Football can be complex, but he, as in Wade, makes it simple for the guys." So you're hoping that that's what he does. He keeps it simple, and you're bringing in three guys on the offensive line. It's hard, like you mentioned last week when we talked. It's hard. You only have so many games, so many practices. Only 12 games is a very small window to put it all together, and sometimes sometimes you're not ready until that fourth game where everything's kind of on track. That's not only in college, but in high school, but also in pros.
Well, it's going to take a while, but the offensive line has to be in line with the offensive philosophy and the offensive coordinator and what they do every day in practice. And you could want to be the biggest physical team in the world. Mm-hmm. Georgia Tech ran the ball, and they had a running court. Nebraska, Dan Holger said, if you want to be physical, they got to do that every day in practice. And they can't be 2 hours of drop back and throw it all over the place. You've got to pound on people in practice. And there has to be that philosophy has to make sense. It's got to be in, a concert with what you're doing. So that's, right now, that kind of stuff has been a lot of talk. We'll see. I love that talk, though, but I want to see the real deal. So I think they have every intention. They've got the linemen. But we'll see this is really, Daniel Holgerson is a huge story this year. What's he want to do?
Yeah.
And, when asked what he wanted to do in the portal, he said, get the best available. So, that's not really an identity, but it's, again, we'll see.
Yeah. It's a big year for Daniel Holgerson in the offense. I guess, what do you think? What do you want the identity of the offense to be, Tom? Because we've seen, some games where the offense looks, they can do it all. They can pass, they can run. This, toward the end of last year, TJ Lateef, they were limited with a freshman quarterback, and they had one of the best running backs in the country in Emmett Johnson, but that still didn't get it done in some situations. I guess, what are you looking to see in, practice? Spring practice will be coming up here, crazily enough, in a couple weeks. It'll be early. What are you looking for the identity of the offense to be going into another year where they're kind of trying to put it all together?
I'd like to see an Iowa offensive line. I'd like to see an old school Nebraska offensive line. I'd like to see that be the foundation. Fred Hoiberg showed us the way. What did he do? He put in a defense he made his program about defense to match the Big Ten. And then 3 or 4 years of defense. That's the mentality. Teamwork, defense, share the ball, role players. Now he's able to move in with Rick Mast, his Iowa State offense. And we've seen the result. Together, it's unbelievable. So, it's the defense starts everything. I like Nebraska football to have that same foundation, that it's same. Okay, we're a physical offensive line. Whatever offense we decide to run is going to work because we're going to block.
Yeah.
If you don't block, I don't care who the play caller is, it ain't going to work. Plays don't work unless you block. So that's what I want to see. That identity is you start with the offensive line and it goes off from there. And then if you have those guys playing together and knocking people down, you can have some drop back passing. You're not going to get sacked 9 times. But I'd like the quarterback to run a little bit. I mean, the best teams we watch every year, every week. I mean, what happened yesterday? We didn't see Sam Darnold run too much, but we saw Drake May. He made the play of the game in the end in the snow on his feet, and that's what Nebraska needs, a guy who could do that. So, but if I had to pick, I'd say offensive line, foundation, physical, and go off from there.
Yep. Well, you almost made the Fred Hoiberg. We're gonna transition right into Husker basketball. We're gonna take a break here, but we'll talk a little Husker basketball because they're kind of a big deal, kind of a big deal, I'd say, Tom, right now. Yeah. So we'll be right back here. Husker Football Hour. Tom Shatel. We'll be right back here on 93.7 The Ticket.
Winter is just around the corner. Is your vehicle ready? Don't get left out in the cold. At A1 Automotive, we prep your car for whatever winter throws your way here in Nebraska. For battery checks, for brake inspections, tires, heaters, whatever your car needs to keep you and your family safe on the road, we've got you covered. A1 Automotive, always honest answers.
In a world where Wi-Fi battles rage and bandwidth is never enough, one family dares to connect it all. Work from home, influence all day, stream all night, and game to win. Deadlines, downloads, and dance-offs, all happening under one roof, flawlessly. Can your internet provider do that? Fiber fuel your household at allofiber.com/all-in.
Mike, I've been thinking our house could really use a makeover. How about new siding?
I've been thinking the same thing. Have you heard of James Hardy?
Yes. Sarah down the street had Roofing Service Company install James Hardy siding on their home, and they love it.
Roofing Service Company does have great reviews.
They took her through the design process and made everything super easy.
Roofing Service Company offers expert design and installation. Couple that with James Hardy's durable products and variety of colors, you and your family will love your exterior remodel. Just visit roofingservicecompany.com. That's roofingservicecompany.com.
Hey there, this is Paul Scheel, owner of High Electric. I want to thank our friends and loyal customers and introduce High Electric to those looking for a new electrician. We've been serving the Lincoln and Omaha area for over 30 years, from design to install, upgrades, and repair. If you are a homeowner or a small business needing some electrical work, call us at 402-466-6606 or check us out at hyelectric.com. We look forward to hearing from you.
Big value and big flavor meet at Wings and Rings thanks to the all-new delicious Duo Combo. This is the one you've been waiting for. Get one half-sized appetizer and 2 entrees with a side for only $19.99. Bring a friend for the best deal in town on any day of the week, during game time, or whenever the heck you want. Their made-to-order wings and chicken sandwiches are waiting for you at their 68th and O and 40th and Old Cheney locations. Stop by Wings and Rings and celebrate every day with the best meal deal in town.
Rick Heyman here from Sartor Heyman Jewelers. I want to personally thank our great customers for voting us once again the best of Lincoln. At the same time, we're celebrating our 120th year in business in the great state of Nebraska. You can count on Sartor Heyman for the very best quality, value, and customer service. When it comes to your jewelry needs, visit us at South Point, Grand Island, and the Outlet in downtown Lincoln. Visit us today at sartorheyman.com, and thank you for your continued trust after all these years.
It's basketball season, and Salt Mine City is your pregame and postgame headquarters in the Haymarket for craft beers and great food. Get ready for the game with their big, fatty 7-ounce hamburger or try a Reuben sandwich served on Blackstone rye bread. And don't forget their beef or chicken nachos with guacamole, sour cream, jalapenos, and more. Wash it down with one of their 12 beers on tap, including the popular Single Axle Light American Lager. Salt Mine City, your basketball headquarters, now open at 2 p.m. Monday through Thursday and 11 a.m. Friday through Sunday at 8th and R.
Sometimes good people make mistakes. When you find yourself in need of an attorney, call Liberty Law Group. The attorneys at Liberty Law Group will defend you in court and protect your freedom to get you the best possible outcome and the justice you deserve. Trust your freedom to Liberty Law Group, the best criminal attorneys in Nebraska and Iowa. Call them today at 877-404-5238. That's 877-404-5238. Or check them out online at libertylawgroup.com.
If one of the things running through your mind as a business owner is the recurring worry of possible cyber attacks, you can let out a sigh of relief. Hamilton Business Technologies has you covered. As the official business IT partner of the Huskers, we offer real-time threat monitoring, advanced security protocols, and more to keep your data safe from harm. We care about the success of Nebraska businesses and communities like yours. Learn how we can help you at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
Bauer Underground has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white trucks, you know that the best workers in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built on hard work, authentic people, and a pedigree of success. They're offering top-notch benefits, a matching 401k, and a $600 per year clothing allowance. Bauer Underground, a family-friendly company with plenty of room for advancement.
Ticket listeners know a dream team when they see one. At Applied Connective, we've been in the game for 20 years and have developed a team of world-class leaders in all things IT. From cybersecurity and Microsoft products to physical security, audio-video, infrastructure, business phone systems, and anything in between, we'll help you leverage technology to become your most secure, efficient, and profitable. Head to our website to check out real reviews and testimonials and sign up for a free tech consultation. We can show you where you might be vulnerable, inefficient, or overspending. It's a game changer, and it's totally free. Claim yours right now at appliedconnective.com.
Back to the Ticket weeknights on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back to the Husker Football Hour. Tom Shatel, Nick Wyman guiding you here with Tom Shatel. Second week we've done this together, and so far so good, you know.
Absolutely.
Like you said, we got depth, and Nebraska has shown their depth in basketball. I mean, this is the football hour, but basketball, I mean, 20-0, undefeated in Big Ten play. I mean, what is there to say? I mean, the Minnesota game, the Golden Gophers had the lead at the half. Nebraska, they made 9 threes, and then Nebraska flipped the script completely and just completely dominated from the get-go. I mean, Tom, this team continues to make history and take the college basketball world by storm, and now tomorrow is the game that everybody's been looking forward to out in Ann Arbor.
Yeah, it's the biggest game of the year. I can't think of another sport in Nebraska where they played a game between two top 5 teams. I don't think women's basketball, volleyball probably would be the only one I could think of. Mm-hmm. But certainly not football. In absolutely forever. This is awesome. And they belong, and it makes sense, and it's a big game because they can win it. It's not like some deal where they're just they got a chance, or it's if they give it their best. They might be close. No, it's and these guys expect to win.
Yeah,
that's what was so fun about Saturday was, your first half. You have been in Indiana and Illinois. They've been strong out of the gate and on the road, and they really have played well, establishing themselves, establishing their pace and their defense and everything. But this time they didn't, and it was kind of a slugfest. Wasn't really pretty. Then all of a sudden Minnesota got hot. They made 9 threes, and they're only up 6. But you're thinking, yeah, maybe this time Nebraska just doesn't have it. And then they come out in the second half, and they just play with such confidence. And that's what's so striking and just so, I guess, important about this team is they make plays and they do it over and over, and they do it with confidence. They're assertive, they're aggressive, they play defense, and they go hit shots. The three, Bryce Stanford has had too many games where he's been the man, and he look at him, and he's playing with such joy, and he loves his role, and he loves being, a Nebraska Husker, and it's awesome to watch this kind of thing. And this is a transfer portal at work. This is your transfer portal at work, people, and this is. But I got to tell you, Nick, the thing I noticed watching, I don't know if you saw the video, the halftime video.
Yep, I think everybody has seen that. I think it's the Husker basketball Twitter account and social media account posted Fred Hoiberg's halftime rally cry essentially to the team. Yeah, well, he's not usually. I mean, he's very not buttoned down, but he's very calm and poised and composed, and he kind of lost it, and so did Coach Nate. He kind of lost it, and I looked at that and going, "This is the greatest sign ever," because he's not letting them relax for 1 second. They're only down 6, and he's like all over them, and he's cracking the whip, and that is a sign of a coach who knows he's got the team, and this is their opportunity, and he also knows they can handle it. They're not going to freak out because I went off. They can handle it, and they can fix this, and they're going to respond. And I can't think of anything better to say about this Nebraska basketball team than the coach feels comfortable enough doing that, and is cracking the whip because he's not letting them relax for 1 second. And for a Nebraska fan, that should be such a great thing. That halftime thing was unbelievable. I just thought it spoke volumes about what's going on right now. Yeah, and this team is a unit. Bryce Stanford has scored 20 plus in 4 straight games. He had 2 in the first half, and then explodes in the second half to just hit that 20-point mark. The top scores for Nebraska: Rink Mast, Bryce Stanford, Braden Frager. We'll get to him in a second, and then Jamarcus Lawrence. They're all combining for 54.4 points per game. None of the names I just said were even in the starting lineup last year. For obvious, Rink Mast was hurt. Yeah. Price was at Iowa. Frager was, off the bench on the bench and not really, it wasn't really with the program. And then Jamarcus Lawrence went elsewhere, and now they're all here. And it's just I think it's just a complimentary basketball is why this team, none of them are really a superstar. Like, Rink Mast, everyone kind of expected him to carry the load on offense. He does at times, but last month he hasn't really been the guy. Price is on a roll right now. This is in the month of January. I mean, hitting threes, doing, he was cold. They got good looks in the first half, but he started knocking down shots, and I think it's just complimentary basketball, and that's as simple as that, And we've seen teams in college basketball who win the entire thing, and they might not have the superstars or the NBA prospects on their team, but they have a good basketball team. That's what makes it work, and the star of the team is the team, and all these guys elevate each other. Jamarcus wasn't this guy 2 years ago when he was here. He wasn't that confident, and he did some good things, but he wasn't playing like this. Rink Mast wasn't quite like this. This is and even though he's not always scoring or leading, he's leading in other ways, and
he's inside doing all these things, and besides his role outside, Sanford was. I guarantee you, he's lifted his game up, and the beauty of it all is the kid from Southwest, Frager, he just kind of fell out of the sky. I know he was there last year redshirting, but nobody called this thing. And sometimes you need that. Sometimes you need a little bit of a little bit of a lightning bolt or a little bit of a wild card, and he makes everybody better. And you got these older guys that are been around forever, and then you got this kid, bouncing off the bench, dunking, hitting, stepping back with threes. He's pointing at the Michigan State guy. He's getting a tentacle. He's doing all this stuff. He brings attitude and edge to a team and he brings fire. And it's a hell of a cocktail. It's this thing. They've got everything, and don't forget Sam Hoiberg, the man in the middle. I mean, he's been that guy, but not like this. He's upped his game as well. So they love playing each other, playing together. They really love being on this team, and it shows. And and also what I love, the Las Vegas people gave them the biggest gift you could ever give a team. Yep. They made them 10-point underdogs, and they're undefeated, and they won in Indiana and Illinois. They've done some very good things. They're right number 5, and I know Michigan's good. Michigan hammered Gonzaga in that early tournament, but they also lost to Wisconsin at home. I mean, but they're 10-point favorites. I don't think people quite believe in Nebraska yet. I think they're waiting for them to kind of hit the wall, or maybe go back to being Nebraska a little bit. So, a lot of teams that are undefeated and number 5 in the country that have never done this before might be buying into the hype, or they might be, they might not be quite have that edge or attitude. They made them 10-point underdogs in this incredible game. You can work with that as a coach and team. Well, there's no respect. They think you guys are going to get run off the floor. What do you think? And it's just it's beautiful. So we'll see what happens. It'll be a fun game. Are they going to go undefeated? No, they're going to lose at some point. I mean, if I'm wrong, that'd be unbelievable. But if they do, I tell you, this team can handle anything, any kind of, whether it's a loss or something, brother.
Yeah, I mean,
it seems special.
I mean, yeah, you're 20-0. You're in unprecedented waters. You've defied the odds. At Kansas State neutral site, Oklahoma neutral site, Wisconsin blowing them out, beating Creighton, Illinois. Jamarcus Lawrence makes that shot. Michigan. People are saying the Michigan State game at the beginning of this month was the biggest win in Nebraska basketball history. Now you have, a couple weeks later, now you go to Michigan, underdog according to the the odds. But what's that mean? I mean, they've defied all the odds. Everybody's kind of like, oh, they're going to lose this one. This is probably the one they lose, and they just keep winning. Tricky one in Minnesota, tricky one in Indiana. They go into those places and they've been composed. That's what I think the most thing about this team is they've just been composed in situations like down 16 at Indiana early game on the road. Indiana the night before watched their football team roll Oregon in a semifinal to get to their first championship game, and Indiana came out. Lamar Wilkerson was hitting shots, and that's their leader. And Nebraska somehow was able to defy the odds and come back. With Braden Frager, he has a game time decision tomorrow. I'm not as concerned as some people are. Obviously missing him is a big deal, but Nebraska showed that even without him, they're like Minnesota game. They were able to step up when needed.
Yeah, I think again, it's be great to have him there, but they're better at this than I ever will be. But obviously, you want the long-term health has to be the concern. There's still a long season to go. already at 20. I mean, you look at the school record, 26, doesn't look like it's going to last much longer. But this is a team. Your goal is not January 26th. It's 27th. It's March. So so there's no reason if he's not quite ready. And they didn't play Saturday, so look what happened. So it's a little different animal, but who cares? Just do it. Go out and do what they've been doing.
Yep, we're going to take one more break. We'll be back. We'll talk about the maybe return of the spring game, and then how that could collide with how that. Yeah, what's up?
But I got to go. Bye.
All right. Yeah, Tom's got to leave. I heard. Forgot about that. Tom had to leave at 6:45, so I will carry you for the final half of the show. We'll be right back here. Husker Football Hour. Tom Shatel out of here. We'll be right back. Thank you, Tom, for everything. We'll be right back here on 93.7 The Tip.
Want to make the easy call? Call John Henry's. From leaky pipes to a broken AC, flickering lights to furnace fights, even drains and duct cleaning, we've got it handled. Plumbing, heating, air, and electrical, all under one trusted roof. Proudly serving homes across Lincoln, Omaha, and surrounding areas, and ready 24/7. Visit calljh.com or call John Henry's.
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing, Heating and Air,
and Electrical.
Graham Tire presents life's greatest adventures.
Okay, take the worm, put it on the hook. Now bring your pole back and throw it forward. And just let the fish come to you.
I got a bite! It's a big one, Dad!
Great road trips start with great service. Graham Tire, your tire store next door, with 5 convenient Lincoln locations, getting you to the places that matter most.
With UBT, you've got total control over your money. Like Doug, who runs his game day tailgate like a well-oiled machine.
I got burgers, brats, chicken, dogs, plus all the fixins. And with the UBT Go app, I can track my food spending from anywhere.
Pro move.
They don't call me Grill Sergeant for nothing.
No matter your goals, UBT helps you feel good about reaching them. Union Bank and Trust. Member FDIC.
MWR, a local company of Lincoln, is proud to announce they are able to offer their own post-frame building packages in metal to anyone desiring a building, whether you're a contractor or a DIYer. They can install your building as always, and they offer multiple different rib profiles and loads of color options, including the wood grain metal at great competitive prices. You can inquire at mwrbuildingandfence.com or just draw your desired building and submit it in their contact us page, and they'll get back to you. Call MWR today at 402-540-8966.
Back Nine Golf in South Lincoln is the premier indoor golf experience in the state. The weather in the winter months is cold, windy, and as unpredictable as a tee shot on the 450-yard par 4. With top-of-the-line full-swing simulators and a PGA teaching professional, Back Nine Golf is there to help you improve your game and lower your score. Back Nine Golf is open to the public with 24/7 access for members. Learn about Back Nine's variety of memberships today and see the facility for yourself at 7501 South 15th Street in Lincoln, just south of 14th and Pine Lake Road. Back Nine Golf, your premier indoor golf and events destination.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals just like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait, apply now.
Big box stores are tempting for buying equipment for your high schooler in sports or for yourself in your sports leisures. But buying new is awfully expensive. Why not go somewhere with new and used options? Play It Again Sports has quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. And it's more than baseball, softball, and golf. They also have equipment for disc golf, fitness, hockey, and more. Plus, they're always buying products. Bring your gear you're done with and get trade money on the spot. Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine. Select Plumbing and Utility has been serving Lincoln and the surrounding area for 14 years, and they're not slowing down. Select Plumbing and Utility handles all your plumbing needs from faucets and water heaters to full renovations, and they can even help with your heating and cooling needs. They're also Lincoln's underground experts, repairing and replacing broken underground water and sewer lines since day one. Contact Select Plumbing and Utility today at 402-560-6197, assuring excellence in every situation, opportunity, and challenge. That's 402-560-6197.
Tune in to 93.7 The Ticket immediately after every Nebraska men's basketball game for 1 hour of post-game recap. The Nebraska Basketball Postgame Show is sponsored by Union Bank and Trust, John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, Air, and Electrical, and the Lincoln Airport on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
Bagels and Joe is the best place to start off your mornings, and you can order your breakfast ahead of time on their app. You can't go wrong with one of their great bagel sandwiches or breakfast burritos. Stop by any of their 4 locations in Lincoln and their location in Seward. Bagels and Joe.
Anderson Ford in Lincoln has 2 convenient locations, which means 2 times the customer service, 2 times the inventory, and 2 times the ability to get you in the car of your dreams. Whether you visit us on the north side or the south side, you'll find more selection and a team that's always on your side. When you're looking for a better way to buy your next Ford, visit Anderson Ford in Lincoln, where exceptional service meets unbeatable selection.
Concrete Industries has immediate job openings for precast production laborers and maintenance technicians. Concrete Industries offers great pay, health benefits, 401k, a wellness program, holidays, and paid time off. Apply today to earn a starting pay of $21.50 per hour plus a $1,500 hiring bonus. Concrete Industries is hiring all experience levels and offers on-the-job training. Start your career today as a precast production laborer or maintenance technician. Visit concreteindustries.com.
To the Ticket weeknights on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back to the Husker Football Hour. Tom Shatel had to dip out. Nick Wyman carrying you for this final segment of the hour. Stick with us. We have a stacked lineup all in coming up with Ridge Levitt and Caleb Smith at the top of the hour. So before then, I will help you close out this 6 o'clock hour with a little Husker football news and notes. You know, we talked a little bit about the quarterback position, talked a little about recruiting, talked a little about the offensive line, Mike Eckler's situation and the saga kind of coming to a close. And then we talked about Nebraska basketball. 20-0, heading up to Ann Arbor. We'll have post game for that tomorrow as well. But with one more note for Nebraska football, spring game return. Yet to talk about that on the Husker Football Hour with Tom Shatel. I really would like to get Tom's input on this, but he had to dip out for the evening, and he's a busy guy, rightfully so. Nebraska spring game will return in 2026 after a 1-year hiatus. After, they had the Husker games last year, it was just another thing to try something. And the attendance was not what they fully expected, but you still drew a solid crowd for a exhibition, basically, a little bit of flag football and whatnot. Now the game will be back this year. Last Friday, they announced that it was official that it'd be coming back. With now there not being a spring transfer portal period has closed. But the spring game's going to happen a lot earlier. Said they're going to begin spring practice in late February, which seems very early for a college football spring practice, but it sounds like the game, which will likely return earlier, the most spring games in the conference will all likely be a reappear on TV, which would be nice to see just because sometimes it's just a rerun and everything, so you can't watch it. The game is scheduled to be, I believe it's March 28th, so it's a very early date for a spring game. However, the only, March 28th, 2026, marking the return of a more traditional format earlier this year to accommodate to a faster schedule. They had the Husker games due to the transfer portal and injury concerns. So they'll be bringing that back March 20th. The only caveat with that is that the that the transfer portal is closed and everything. That's fine, but the Elite Eight lines up at that exact same day. The Elite Eight of the NCAA tournament lines up exactly with that said date. So if Nebraska basketball, we're just hypothetically speaking here, if they make a run and win some games to make a run in the March Madness tournament, they haven't won a game in history. They're, obviously the only Power 4 school to not win a game in the NCAA tournament is Nebraska. It's kind of been their claim to fame for a couple years now, which is, you'd like to get the monkey off your back, because that is something that, as a local here, I've heard about. Tom Shatel, obviously his hour here, he's probably heard about for several years covering Nebraska athletics. You'd like to see that monkey get off the Cornhusker basketball team's back, win a game in the tournament, and if they do end up making an Elite Eight game, that'll cause some, interesting conversations, because you have the spring game, which usually is at a, noon, 1 o'clock, usually. Sometimes, that's usually the time frame. It's usually earlier in the day, just to get some people to, a lot of people come down and watch the game. But I think the Elite Eight usually starts at 5 o'clock, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock at night. So the issue would be with those two teams, those colliding, the issue is you could have a chance where some people have to pick if they want to go to the Elite Eight if Nebraska's there. Hypothetically speaking, I'm not saying they're going to get there. I'm just saying, hypothetically speaking, they could get to the Elite Eight. But you don't want to look that far ahead. The spring game will be on that date. We will see for sure what that will look like. But coming up later tonight, we got Tom Shatel wrapping up tonight. We got All In. We have the Boulders coming in. We got Raph's Good Take on Sports, and then Late Night in Lincoln. So that'll be the rest of your slate here. I will be here with Nick Wyman here along with you. But Tom Shatel, thank you for the 45 minutes you were here today. It was a, normal show. He says we have a lot of depth, so we'll see what that comes with everything. So stick with us here on 94.7 Nick Wyman. All In with Bridge Lovett and Kayla Smith coming up here on 93.7 The Ticket.